Welcome to NeoEnglish, the podcast where we help you learn practical English quickly.
That's right. We focus on current events, helping you build useful vocabulary and phrases for real conversations.
Today's topic is about politics and technology. Specifically, how JD Vance is trying to bridge the gap between MAGA supporters and big tech companies. This is an interesting conversation.
Yes, but before we start, let's briefly explain who JD Vance is. JD Vance is a U.S. Senator from the Republican Party. He became well known for writing a book called Hillbilly Elegy, which talks about life in rural America.
Good background info. Now let's look at the key issue. There's a big divide or separation between MAGA supporters, people who follow Donald Trump, and big tech companies like Google, Facebook, and Apple.
Why is there a divide?
Well, many MAGA supporters believe large technology companies have too much power and influence over politics. They think tech companies control what people can say online, and they don't like that.
I see. They feel big tech companies are limiting free speech.
Exactly. But on the other side, globalists or people who support international trade and cooperation often support tech companies. They see them as important for business and communication.
So we have MAGA supporters and big tech companies, and they don't trust each other. That's the divide JD Vance wants to fix.
Yes, he's trying to connect these two sides by blaming the government instead. He says the U.S. government is the real problem, not big tech companies or MAGA supporters.
Okay, now let's go over some vocabulary. First, we said asterisk, bridge the gap. Asterisk.
Good one. Bridge the gap means to connect two different groups or ideas.
For example, a teacher might try to bridge the gap between students who speak different languages, so they can work together.
Or a company might try to bridge the gap between older employees and younger employees to improve teamwork.
Exactly. Another phrase we used was divide. We said there is a divide between MAGA supporters and big tech.
Yes, a divide is a strong difference between two groups, ideas, or people.
For example, in a family, if some people love dogs and others love cats, there might be a small divide between them.
That's a fun example. Another one could be how some people prefer tea and others prefer coffee. There's a small divide between tea lovers and coffee drinkers.
Very true. Another vocabulary word is globalist. We said globalists support international trade and cooperation.
Yes, a globalist is someone who believes that countries should work together and have fewer restrictions on business and travel.
For example, a globalist might support more tourism and international businesses creating jobs in different countries.
Or a globalist might believe that people from different countries should be able to study and work anywhere in the world easily.
Those are great examples. Now let's review everything with a little story.
Yes, here's a simple way to understand today's news. Imagine a big school. Some students believe they should make their own school rules, and others believe the principal should make the rules. These two groups don't get along.
Then a teacher steps in and says, "Hey, maybe the real problem is the way the school system works, not the students." That is just like JD Vance. Instead of blaming the students, he blames the system. Just like he blames the government instead of MAGA supporters or big tech.
Perfect. Today we learned about JD Vance, the divide between MAGA and big tech, and how he's trying to bridge the gap.
We also learned the words divide, bridge the gap, and globalist.
That's it for today. Keep practicing, and soon you'll have great English conversations about current events.
Keep learning, and have a wonderful day.